hate corruption. We hate corruption.
Shut up, you. Shut up. Me, I cannot tolerate anybody under me. Once I detect that, out, you go. Because if I tolerate you, I am endangering the system.
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
March to Parliament!
Say not corruption!
Say not corruption!
Say not corruption!
Say not corruption!
To Uganda,
May God above thee. We lay our future in thy hands.
Don't trust Museveni. Apart from the allegation that he's your father, you don't know Museveni.
Don't think you're gonna come and sell our resources again for cheap, for us to sit down and welcome you the next 4 years. It's not gonna happen. The people are awake. A huge change is about to come, people. So African politicians, if you think you have power, I am telling you, if 10 million people come together, it's over for you, okay? We are going to get in contact with the military, and we are going to beg the military to stand behind us because we need them. The militaries also need a change. They need to protect a government that is for the people, not a government that is against the people. African people, we do not want to be divided again. We believe in brotherhood and sisterhood, and we will stand for what is right. We do not care about money anymore. We will not accept any bribe from anyone to honor life for our people, to sabotage our people. We will not do that because we have realized that money is not everything. We have realized that you people are taking advantage of us. You do not care about us. You take your girlfriends to Dubai, to all these amazing places. You enjoy yourself. You see your people struggling on the street, sleeping on the street, cleaning the streets, working 24/7. And you know that they are suffering, but you don't even help them. Are you not ashamed, African leaders? Where is your heart? Where is the heart that God gave you? Do you have one, African leaders? The corruption is too much, please. Stop selling our resources so cheap. God gave us those resources for a reason. Africa is not a poor continent. The people are poor. The people are poor because of you, African leaders. Because you think about your pocket. And African people, please listen to me. I hope this message gets to you. Please do not vote for any presidential candidate who come and talk rubbish and tell you that he's going to build road. I'm sorry, building road is a normal thing to do as a leader. We need a government that stands with the people, a government that cares for the country, a government that wants to see its people do well. We need a government that has the same common interest as us. Enough is enough. The embarrassment is enough. The racism is enough. The discrimination is enough. The tribalism is enough. We, the people, have decided to put our interests on the side. We have decided to put all this tribalism, religion, and all that aside. We have decided to respect each other's religion and respect each other's culture and come together with the same common interest to make Africa great. And if you, an African leader, if you don't have that interest with us, we will not vote for you. So don't you think in your skull that you're going to come and tell us you're going to build water, electricity, and all those nonsense for us to cast our vote for you. That is not going to happen. And to the old government, the old leaders, please retire and go and enjoy somewhere with your wives. We want young leaders. We do not want any old man from the age of 70 to 90 to come in power. Please take a break. Go to Maldives or something. Go to Seychelles and have a break for Christ's sake. African people, vote for someone who can help us. Someone who can take full control of the country. Someone who do not need any foreigners to support him. Someone who knows what he's doing. Someone who is fearless. Someone who is bold. Someone who is passionate. Someone who cares. Because it's 2024 and you and I are still suffering. It's 2024 and we are still divided. It's 2024 and all our people all over the world are struggling. So if we don't come together to do what is right, then what is the point to complain about racism? What is the point to complain about discrimination? What is the point to complain about corruption? It is not the government to do anything for us. It's us, the people, that need to stand up against these corrupt leaders and march on the street for them to know that, hey, we are united and you cannot break us. Guys, if you take a stick and you can easily break it, but if you put 20, 30 sticks together, you can never break it. It will be difficult. This is the thing I'm saying about unity. This is my point, people. If we unite, I'm not asking you to come and love me and say hello to me every day. But if we can have the same common interest to make our nation great, I think that we will be on the right path to a good future, to a bright future for our next generation to come and live like kings and queens that we are. And not to suffer like slaves, because that's what we still are. I'm sorry, but if you have gold and diamond on your land and you need somebody to come and take your gold and diamond and give you, the owner, 10% and they take 90%, are you still not a slave? You are, because you do not know the value of your resources. You do not know. African leaders, enough is enough. Congo, we are coming for you, Congo. Hold on tight. The people are going to march for you. The people are going to scream for you. The people are going to fight for you. And whichever country you are that is struggling, we are coming to be behind you, my sisters and brothers. That is how it should be. And if you are against this message, it means that you are not for unity and we don't need you around. If you think that you know that you are African, but you say you are not African, we don't need you around, sis. We're not going to force anybody to be with us. We're going to call the people that has same common interests as us. You understand? That is what is going to happen now. So Congo, hold on tight. We're not going to sit down for our people to go down. That is impossible. Anywhere that is suffering, any country that is suffering, that has our people there, we are going to support our people. And if you love the message that I'm putting out, please, 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 please use your platform to continue that same message so that it can reach many people. Stop complaining, African people. Stop pointing fingers at the white man. The white man also wants profit. He's not going to come and take your oil and your gold out of the ground for free. They also need their money. So if you want to make money, you need to build your own refineries. You need to build your own infrastructures. Okay? Thank you. It is time, people. Some of us are frustrated and we are tired. Enough is enough. And anybody who has something to say against what I'm saying, shut up.
Hi guys, I'm Bibo once again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay guys, today I have this clip whereby the Ugandan Gen Zs have come together, strong together, and they have started to protest. They have gone the Kenyan way, whereby they have been inspired by the Kenyan Gen Zs, and they are protesting to remove this bad government, to remove their old leader Museveni of whereby he has led Ugandan for a very long period of time.
Arrest the corrupt officials in parliament, in all government institutions. Arrest all of them. We are tired of corruption. Stop the corruption. We are peaceful. We are not fighting. We are just fighting corruption.
Officer,
stop the corruption. You are supposed to arrest corrupt officials.
Who was stealing your money?
We are protecting you. You're protecting the corrupt officials. We are tired of them. Arrest the corrupt people. We are tired of corruption. Arrest the corrupt people. We are tired. We are peaceful. We are not fighting anyone. We are fighting corruption.
Your name.
Corruption.
Your name. Your name. Your name.
Corruption.
Your name.
Corruption.
Tell us your name. Your name. Your name. Your name. Your name.
Me, I cannot tolerate anybody under me. Once I detect that, out, you go. Because if I tolerate you, I am endangering the system.
Yeah guys, welcome back again. I hope you have seen how Ugandan youths have came out strong, marching toward the parliament, and they want change. They want to change the government system because they feel like their president has ruled them for a long period of time. We all know Museveni is the current president of Uganda and is the 9th president, and he has ruled Uganda since from 1986. And Uganda is part of an African country that is in Eastern Africa, and it shares the borders between Kenya and Tanzania. So these youth have come out, they're crying out for help. They feel like the government is so corrupt, and you have seen their leader is so rude and is so cruel, whereby he has come out, he is arresting this youth, he's giving us warning that you can't go to the street because you feel like he's just doing things right. But the Ugandan youth, though they have come in small number, but they have, at least they have shown that courage that this government is so bad and they want change. And we really hope that these leaders will have their prayers, and so that they can change the system.
Parliament, young Ugandans accuse the government of rampant corruption and human rights abuses. Police have banned all protests in the capital. Well, on the eve of these planned anti-government protests, Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine posted online saying that police had surrounded the headquarters of the National Unity Platform Party in Kampala, the opposition, blocking off roads and arresting its party members. He says the government fears the will of the people, and once their fear of the government fades, quote, they will lose their power over us. Well, Uganda's president, Yoweri Museveni, warned in a televised address on Saturday that protests will not be tolerated.
Most of the world are starving. They are crying for hunger. And you here, you want to disturb us. You are playing with the fire.
Well, let's bring in Andrew Mwenda. He's the managing director of The Independent, a news magazine based out of Uganda. He joins us now from Kampala. Andrew, when you hear that rhetoric from Museveni, warning protesters they're playing with fire, I know there's been no permits issued for these protests. How concerned are you about the government response today, especially given the deployment we've already seen on the streets?
I actually think that is more of the same. It is what I would have expected of President Museveni. I think that given the current protests in Kenya, he's very careful that if he allows such a protest to take place, it may lead to a wrong place. So it is better to prevent it from ever happening than to allow it to happen and have to bear the consequences.
Sure. You mentioned Kenya there. I've been curious about the timing of these protests. How much of this has been inspired by what's been happening over the border?
I think so. I think this protest in Uganda has been greatly inspired and it's imitating what is happening in Kenya. And even Uganda government's response itself is shaped by looking at what happened in Kenya. You see, the mobilization has been taking place for around about 1 month in Uganda, taking place on social media. So the government knew what was coming. When it looks across the border, they see that in Kenya, the government saw this movement mobilizing on social media and took no action to prevent it. And because they did not take action, they were overwhelmed by the demonstrations, and the president was forced to reverse his decisions. Now in Uganda, government of Uganda is learning from Kenya, and Ugandan protesters are also learning from Kenya. So they were mobilizing on social media, only that the government here, especially the president, has effective personal control over the core elements of the state, especially the armed forces. So he has deployed on every nook and cranny of the city to ensure that people don't march towards parliament. And also Ugandans know him, that when he has said don't play with fire, he means it. So very few would dare.
It's interesting the choices that the government has made in terms of their deployment, though. The police, I understand, have barricaded opposition headquarters, but Bobi Wine has also been very clear this protest movement is not being organised by the opposition, that it's a grassroots youth movement, as we saw in Kenya too. Can you explain where this came from?
I think it is government deployed at the NUP headquarters. It knows that NUP is not involved in this mobilization, but I'm sure they don't want to take chances, because if you put yourself in the position of government, you would expect that NUP would want to take advantage of the situation. So the best way is to ensure that you don't take any chances, you don't allow any risks whatsoever. Remember, this is basically a military government that came to power through a protracted armed struggle. Governments like that, you see them in China, in Vietnam, in Rwanda, in Nicaragua. They have particular characteristics. They tend to fuse politics with security. They are very security sensitive, and therefore they do not give space for their opponents to organize and challenge them. It's of gravity. You can easily topple a government through an insurrection in the city.
Well, speaking of toppling a government, I mean, this is primarily supposed to be about corruption. I was looking at some of the numbers. It's $2.7 billion lost to corruption every year. I see that House Speaker has been sanctioned for corruption by the UK and the United States. Obviously, corruption is deeply entrenched in Uganda, despite government promises to fight it. We've been saying this is a youth movement. What does the youth want done differently?
Well, I think that the capacity of the government of Uganda to deliver public goods and services effectively and efficiently has been greatly compromised by gross corruption and incompetence. And people in Uganda, especially in Kampala, are frustrated. The roads are full of potholes, the drainages are blocked. Even the contracts where people are constructing roads have ground to a halt. So the city is in a mess. When Ugandan youth get angry about the incapacity of government to deliver goods and services, public goods and services, you can understand where they're coming from. The other thing is that I think the government of Uganda is armed to the teeth to always counter these protests. I personally think that if I was an advisor to government, the best way of government to do is to try to improve its own performance in order to reduce the anger of the youth. But instead, I see government arming itself to the teeth to fight. The money they're spending on the army and the police to contain riots can actually be spent on improving the quality of life in Kampala. So I get the sense that they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, we'll certainly see what happens on the streets of Kampala today. Andrew Mwenda there, the managing director of The Independent, a news magazine based out of Kampala. Thank you for joining us, Andrew.
You're welcome.
Anita must resign. 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 Anita must resign.
that we are fighting for. This is our vita we are fighting for. Anita must go. You cannot say on the taxi bill that
my name is Gift Grace. Anita must resign. My name is Gift Grace. Anita must resign.
At the parliament, we are saying corruption at parliament, we don't want it. Corruption at parliament, it is at high peak. Yes, I'm here standing at the parliament. Corruption is now at peak. Everyone is corrupt in offices, RDCs, CAO district, each and everything. Everything is corrupt. I'm here demonstrating at the parliament so that Ugandans, it is our voice to come out. This is
what are your demands?
What are your demands?
Hi guys, welcome back again. I hope you have watched what Ugandan Gen Zs have done, and we are so proud of them as Kenyan Gen Zs because they have just been inspired by what their neighboring country has done, the Kenyan. So, and you have seen in a lot of African countries, a lot of Gen Zs have came out, like in Nigeria, that they are planning to start this protest because African countries need those leaders who are fearless, those leaders who are passionate, those leaders who knows what they really want. They don't want those leaders who just they are there for their own interest and put money in their pocket. We are tired of this thing. We are tired of corruption. We are tired of tribalism, and we are tired of racism. So these youths have come out and they know what they are doing. There is no way the government will raise high taxes in the country, yet by a lot of youths are so unemployed. A lot of youth are seeking jobs and they can't find it. So it's a good thing, and we are happy for Ugandan Gen Zs because in a lot of African countries, when it's time for election, these leaders just come out and they convince you or they just bribed you, and it's a good time. People have opened their eyes, have stand up, and they have come together to be stronger because it's high time. These people won't accept these bribe things anymore, because when it's time for election, these leaders came, they bribe you like $10 or $20 so that you can cast vote for them, you vote for them, and if they win, they change. They come and promise these African local people that if you elect me and I become your president or I become your leader, I will build some electricity, I will build some waters, I will build roads, which is a normal thing for a leader to do. But when he earned that seat, he forget about everything and he just returned to herself. He just returned back to a family. He cares a lot about a family. He doesn't care about how these African people are struggling. They don't have jobs. A lot of African people are poor, and it's because of these greedy leaders. A lot of African people sleep without food. A lot of African people, they can even stay for like 2 days without eating anything. And it's time these people have woken up, and a lot of youths, they have woken up, they have opened their eyes, and they have said when the time for election comes, they will stand up to go and cast vote for the right leaders who know what they are doing, who are passionate in what they are doing. And it's a good thing because a lot of youth in Kenya, they want these young leaders, not these old leaders that doesn't have any improvement in the country. All they care is about how maybe they will inherit their sons or what. But it's high time the youths have come out, and it's a good thing. A lot of African countries are really struggling. A lot of African people are moving out of the country, going to abroad so that maybe they can earn job. A lot of African people are going to US. A lot of African people are going to Canada, Turkey, because in Africa there is no job opportunities. There is a lot of unemployment, and the education level, you really have to struggle a lot so that at least you can be well educated. If your family isn't from a good background, from a good wealth, education for you, it will be either a problem, or if you doesn't have any sponsorship from the government or from anyone who has enough money, you will struggle and you will end up suffering, because if you can't study well in Africa, you will lack job opportunities. And even if you have studied without any connection, because anything or everything in a lot of African countries is through connection. If you doesn't have any connection, you won't earn that job or you won't get any job. We'll go back to struggling so that at least you can raise well your family. And we are tired of this shit. A lot of people want to the next generation, or we want us youth, we want when our kids grow up to live like kings and queens. We are tired of this thing that, or this slogan that a lot of people say, that African country is so poor, African people, they don't have a lot of jobs, African people, they live a bad life. We want this narrative to change, because even if you go to a place like in US, if you ask someone which is the poorest country in the world, all they said is Africa. And we are tired of this thing. We want change, and the only change that can come to this African country is through by electing good leaders who knows what they really want to do. We want to elect those leaders who will develop our countries. We want our countries, our African countries, to be like these other big countries. Look at country like Turkey. Look at country like the city of Tokyo, Japan. Look at the country like Canada. We want, and we'll be so much proud if our country will be like this. We don't want this narrative or this slogan that which is the poorest country in the world. All the people say Africa, and it's because of us. And the blame maybe will say it's on us because you are electing bad leaders, but at least we have learned a lesson. And any people or anyone who is in Africa, when it's time for election, just elect a good leader who will just understand and who will understand your human rights and who will care for you. So guys, we are so proud of Ugandan country. I hope the government will hear the prayer and we will hear the cry, so that at least the system can be changed. The Ugandan president has led Imagine Uganda from 1986. All the election he usually win, and the Ugandan people are tired because they say there's a lot of corruption in Uganda. That's why, yeah, even 7 comes out at one out, we will be playing fire. And a lot of Ugandans say that if he says you are playing with fire, he really mean it. So you have seen he's arresting a lot of youth that are protesting in the street. I hope where they are fine. So guys, thank you for watching this clip. Let's see you in the next clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this clip. Thank you for your time.